I didn't mean to cheat. It was a phrase I repeated to myself like a mantra, hoping it would somehow absolve me of what was about to happen. The night started innocently enough, a work conference in a sleek hotel downtown. My boyfriend Jake had encouraged me to attend, thinking it would be a good opportunity for networking. Little did he know that the thrill of the event would lead me down a dangerous path. As I walked into the hotel's grand ballroom, I felt the energy pulsing through the crowd. Colleagues mingled, laughter echoed, and the air buzzed with ambition. I spotted Jenna, a fellow marketing executive, and we quickly fell into conversation. She was charismatic and confident, her presence magnetic. "You look stunning tonight," she said, her eyes glinting with mischief. I felt a rush of warmth at her compliment. We shared a drink, then another, and before I knew it, the line between professional and personal began to blur. "Let's step outside for some fresh air," Jenna suggested, her tone playful. I hesitated but felt drawn to her energy. The cool night air hit me as we stepped onto the balcony, the city lights twinkling below us. "Do you ever feel trapped?" she asked suddenly, her gaze piercing. "Like you're living someone else's life?" Her question hung in the air, and I found myself opening up about my frustrations. Jake was great, supportive, and loving, but something was missing. I felt a connection with Jenna, a spark I hadn't realized I craved. As we talked, the tension between us grew. I could see the way she looked at me, her eyes dark with intensity. Just as I was about to pull back, she leaned in, brushing her lips against mine. I gasped, surprised but exhilarated. In that moment, I forgot about Jake, the conference, everything. We kissed, a slow exploration that ignited a fire in me. The taste of her lips was intoxicating, and I lost myself in the thrill of it all. My heart raced as I pulled away, panic setting in. "What am I doing?" I whispered, breathless. Jenna stepped back, her expression a mix of desire and understanding. "You're living. You deserve to feel alive," she said, her voice low and inviting. The temptation hung in the air, heavy and electric. I glanced at my phone. A message from Jake popped up. "Hope you're having fun. Can't wait to see you later." Guilt surged through me, but the adrenaline of the moment pushed it aside. I made a decision that would haunt me. "Let's get out of here," I said, my heart pounding as I led Jenna away from the crowd. We slipped through a side door into the hotel's back corridors, moving quickly, almost like we were escaping something. We ended up in a dimly lit lounge, the atmosphere thick with secrecy. Jenna's hand found mine, and she pulled me close. "This feels right, doesn't it?" she whispered. I nodded, but doubt flickered in the back of my mind. Still, the thrill of doing something forbidden was exhilarating. As we sank onto a plush couch, the world outside faded away. Our kisses deepened, the air around us charged with unspoken desire. I knew I was risking everything, but the allure of the moment was overwhelming. We laughed, shared secrets, and as her fingers tangled in my hair, I felt liberated, caught in a whirlwind of passion. But then, my phone buzzed again. Another message from Jake. "Where are you?" I'm worried. Panic washed over me. I had to stop this before it went too far. "Jenna, I started, but she silenced me with another kiss, more urgent this time. "Just stay for a little longer," she breathed, her breath warm against my skin. Before I could respond, the door swung open and a hotel staff member walked in. "Excuse me, this area is off limits," he said, eyes wide. My heart dropped. I had been so lost in the moment that I hadn't even considered the risk of being caught. Jenna quickly pulled away, and I felt a rush of panic. "Let's go," I said, standing abruptly, but Jenna grabbed my wrist, her expression intense. "What are you afraid of?" "Everything," I replied, glancing nervously at the staff member, who was now watching us curiously. "I can't do this." Jenna's eyes flashed with frustration, but she released me, and I turned to leave. As I stepped back into the hallway, I could feel her gaze burning into my back. The thrill of the night had vanished, replaced by a heavy sense of dread. I hurried back to the ballroom, my heart racing. I scanned the crowd for Jake, but the room felt suffocating. How could I face him after what I had just done? The guilt weighed on me like a lead blanket. Finally, I spotted him at the bar, chatting with a colleague. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. As I approached, he turned, a smile breaking across his face. "There you are." I was starting to worry. I forced a smile, my mind racing. "Just catching up with some friends," I lied, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. He pulled me into a warm embrace, and for a moment I felt the love we shared. But then, flashes of Jenna's lips, her laughter, the electricity of that kiss invaded my thoughts. I felt like a stranger in my own life. As the evening wore on, I tried to engage with Jake, but every laugh and smile felt hollow. The weight of my actions loomed over me like a dark cloud, and I couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to come crashing down. Later that night, as we returned to our hotel room, the silence between us was thick with unspoken words. I sat on the edge of the bed, my heart pounding. "Jake, I need to tell you something," I started, but the words caught in my throat. He looked at me, concern etched on his face. "What's wrong?" I took a deep breath, knowing I had to confess. But as I looked into his eyes, the moment slipped away. Instead, I smiled, forcing the facade. "Nothing. Just tired from the conference." He nodded, but I could see the doubt lingering. As he turned off the light and crawled into bed beside me, I felt the weight of my betrayal crush down. In the darkness, I lay wide awake, torn between the love I had for Jake and the thrill of the night I couldn't forget. What I had done would haunt me, and I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. I had crossed a line I couldn't uncross, and the consequences of that moment were just beginning to unravel.